Hi folks, how we doing? Welcome to another video. Today's a quick little project. It's sort of a little bit backwards, really. There's a project I got in a couple of months ago. It's for a chap on the farm. It's his old man's bike. I was recording it. I was trying to do it properly. It was just going to be a quick thing, put it back together, and then complications have happened. Then it's been sat around for a while, and yeah, it's complicated. So basically today it's just going to be me excuse me, rebuilding a bike. Let me show you the bike. So there's the bike. It's a little Yamaha XV535, I believe it is. I don't know, I can't remember. Yeah, it came in and it was actually mostly complete. But my mate's dad has got dementia, who owns the bike, and then my mate's mum took some bits off of it so he couldn't ride it and everything else. I was just tasked with putting it back together and trying to get it running. I'd got it to the stage where it's firing on easy start. We had a couple of issues where they'd put the battery on the wrong way around. Yeah, the battery was on the wrong way around and it kept blowing one of the fuses, so I sorted that out and then changed over the electric controller down there. I did get some help from Arco at Outlaw Edge Bladeworks and Ralfy at Ralfy Customs, because I don't really do bikes, I don't know a lot about it. I mean, mechanical I can take them apart, put it back together, but in terms of knowing what's what, I ain't got a clue. So anyway, the chat wants it's back now. I need it out of the way because we're pretty much moving into the new unit, so I want it out of the way. So I figure I'll just do a quick like vlog style video of putting it back together, really, if I can remember where everything goes. So we've got bits down here. That's not for it, that's just a fuel pump. I was trying to drain the fuel. That's a new fuel pump for it. That's an old fuel pump for it because it just wasn't working. I tested it out. Load of bolts down there for it, brackets. I've got petrol tank there. I need to, there's a broken stud there. And then the major issue was all of this. So this is what in here you can't really see. It's the fuel shut-off valve. It's was in soak for ages. So fucking night. Yeah, one of the main issues. One of the main issues with this, once I'd got all the electrical sorted out, there was no fuel going through. So then, sort of stripping it all out, I still couldn't get any fuel coming through. So then it was obviously the shut-off valve. Problem is, to get to the shut-off valve, I had to take all the tank out. Then it's a false tank on the frame, and then the tank's under the seat. So take all that off, and then there's some gubbins. I couldn't get hold of a brand new shut-off valve, and this is where Ralfy helped me, because he sort of sent me some links for some chat rooms and forums and that, and actually tracked down what I needed. Managed to get a rebuild kit for it, so it's been in soak, and every now and again I've been stabbing it with welding wire and everything else to clear it out. Where I've been sat, all the fuel had been sort of like just jellified everywhere. It's disgusting. So yeah, I'm gonna try and clean that out, get the fuel running. Don't think I'm excuse me. I don't think I'm ever going to get the bike running. I think it's going to need carb rebuilds. You know, as bad as the fuel was everywhere else, I think, yeah, the carbs are going to need stripping, and that's beyond me. So chat wants me to put it all back together so it is, you know, pretty much as it was, but in a better state, and then he's going to sell it as a going concern. So yeah, I'm going to crack on. It's a bit better view of the petcock all stripped down. There's a rebuild kit for it, all new rubbers and stuff. Got it from them. Sumo rubbers, is that? Yeah, Sumo rubber. It's on eBay. It comes with all the little gaskets and rubbers. So all I've got to do is just go through and clean everything up. So the weird thing about these, I mean, look at that, that's the actual knob. It's just corroded to fuck, look. Come on, focus. So yeah, that was what that was like, all in there. So the way these work is, because obviously there's no fuel gauge, it's got two inlets. You've got the normal running and then a reserve, and it has a switch on the handlebars which throws this solenoid which allows it to pump up through the other tube. So I've got one tube clear now, which I actually think is the reserve one. this one here with the smaller tube is still blocked. So it's just going to be a matter of keep stabbing it with some welding wire, clearing it out until we get some fuel flowing through it, and then clean up all the flanges and the gaskets, put it all back together. If I can remember how it goes, I should be able to. I forgot to say, I initially had this in soaking some thinners and sort of cleaned a load of crap out, and then I let it dry. Then I've had it soaking in some brake fluid. Brake fluid seemed to work best, but I'll probably try a little bit more thinners in it. You know, it's a mixture of the two that seems to be getting off the corrosion and the fuel. So yeah, just a combination of shit and crap. Just had a little bit of a result. So I was trying to get these out for ages, and then I just didn't want to break it. Obviously, it's a filter. It's got an inline filter, but it still stops crap picking up on. Yeah, I managed to get it out without damaging it. So, okay. You can see how blocked that is in there. So I've bent me bit of welding wire. It just would not. See it that side? On that side. There you go. Just could not get it to go around that corner and then sort of poke through. So yeah, luckily I managed to get that out. I flattened it. Full focus. Yeah, it's flattened, but I can easily sort of straighten that out. A little bit of heat, and you can see how blocked that is. So yes, half a chance. Oh look, shit just come out. There you go. Fix that bit, and I'll scrape all that out. Just gone through and shook all the rust and debris and crap out the bottom of that tank, and this is exactly why the filters are in place. Look at all of that come out, and there was still a little bit rattling around the bottom that just refused to come out. I mean, that is literally fucking a handful of rust. I'll let them know, and we'll try and get that treated maybe. That's a massive gob of shit that I took out of here. So now I have that all clear. Oh, still long. There you go. It's all clear, and fluid flows through it. See, get there nicely. So that bit is all done. Well, nearly. I just got a clean in there. So I ended up having to use that fuck up welding wire, just weren't cutting it. Yeah, clean the rest of it up with a little brush. Clean all that shit up with some brush and some emery, and put it all back together, see if it does its job. Decided to put the other bits back in soak for a little while, just make it easier just to wire brush it all off. So I tackled that bolt. When I did it, I thought about doing a whole video on it separately to try and get it out, because as you can see I haven't damaged any of the paint at all. But I ended up having like fucking 5 different phone calls, and then my battery died on my phone, or battery got really flat on my phone. So the way I did it is I just welded a nut on it, basically. You can see I did not get that straight at all, but it done the trick. So all I did was put a decent global weld on the end of the stud. You know, obviously not welding it in, you know, so it just protrudes through the nut a little bit, and then I welded the shit out of it. And what that does is the heat transfers down, and you can just put a spanner on it and go, and it come out real nice. Yeah, work it backwards and forwards as you go, so you don't sort of end up bending it off. You know, just work it backwards and forwards, clean the rust up. You can sit down there. And that's it. I haven't damaged any of the paint, I haven't burnt anything. I did actually purchase a tank beforehand, so there was no risk of flames. The only thing I do have to do is just touch up that where I had to put the ground clamp on, but that won't be an issue. I'll just put a little bit of satin black on that and it'll be fine. So now let's clean up all of the bits. There's all the little bits cleaned up, so I managed to clean all in there as best as I possibly could. Clean the flanges up, obviously I didn't clean the main body up. I spent a little bit of time on this because this is actually the main valve. That's where the fuel runs through with that little gasket. Yeah, that's just part for the reserve. It's just a valve that works fine. Need to put that, I did blow that out. I need to put that back in, and then this is it's like a little spring thing. Sorry, focus is shit. It's because the light's shit in it. Come on, focus, you prick. Yeah, it's just a little spring thing that sits over that, and that sits on top. So yeah, cleaned all that up as well. I very carefully used a mixture of that cunt. It's like a brass wheel. It is quite soft, but obviously at fucking 23,000 RPM on that bastard thing, you don't want it in your fingers. And then I've got this. It's supposed to be like, come on, stop being a dick. There we go. So yeah, got that. It's supposed to be like a polishing wheel for a Dremel, but it managed to get into all the little cavities with a bit of brake cleaner and clean up alright. So if anybody knows where I can get a metal version of this would be ideal, because I've got this little air tool thing which is angry, to say the best. So I have sort of actually spent about 15 minutes going through everything, trying to work out how it all goes back together, and I think I worked most of it out apart from this spring. I initially thought it went this side of the reserve valve, which would sort of make sense. It's the only place it can go. But that's already got a spring in it. And then that cone bit is designed to sit in that solenoid. And then when you put the spring in, it just takes away some movement. So I do not actually know. Also do not know how this solenoid works. I do not know whether that's, I assume as soon as you turn the ignition on, it fires over and keeps it closed. And then the spring allows it to, maybe that's that. Just go that way. I think it might go that way. I might be a genius. I think that is to aid fuel flow that way. I really wish I took pictures of this. I really do. No mind. I'll work it out, put it out together and see how it works. I've thought about it some more, and I'm still not quite sure why, but I am pretty convinced that spring goes in there, and then it's got a little cap on it, sits against that rubber flange. There's not rubber, it's like a little plastic nylon-y thing, but yeah, there's no witness marks on it. I can't see anywhere else for that spring to go. There is a recess in there. It looks like it has as a spring. There is some crap around there. I don't know whether that's because I've just put the spring in and it's just where it's sat, but it seems to sit in there nicely. And then this was all caked up in sticky shit, which would suggest that it was within fuel. So I know there is probably people screaming at their phones, tablets, TVs, whatever you're watching it on, going, you're an absolute fucking retard. for not taking pictures or even putting this in the wrong place, but unfortunately that is what it is. You know, it's supposed to be a quick job, took it apart, shit happened, and sometimes life goes like that. So logic is sort of working. I will try and test this out before I go fitting it all up, because I don't fancy putting all the tank back in to find out it doesn't work. So we'll try and work something out. Right, I'm going to put this back together instead of fucking rabbiting on. Didn't really show this in much detail while it was in the packet, but I thought I'd do it now. It did come with 2 screws. I'm assuming these screws are for these 2 here, because they were an absolute fucking wanker to get out. But yeah, it comes with all the O-rings, and it comes with this gasket here. And then it was only when I was just sort of double checking what we've got and everything else, I found this gasket, which reinforces where the spring goes. So if you look at this gasket, come on, focus, it's got rust on it. Spring's steel, body's aluminium. That goes like that. Plunger goes like that. Sorted. So yeah, like I said, I didn't take any pictures of this really. You know, it was supposed to be a quick job, get it done, get it dusted, and then sort of things just sort of spiraled to try and get that fucking unit sorted out. If I'd have thought about it like properly, I probably would have done a full-on video of rebuilding this, because like I said, you know, I did have to shout out, or I did have to sort of reach out to Arco and Ralfy as well, and it was Ralfy that said to me about the forums, but there is no videos, there is no real instructional stuff about how to rebuild these and which way to go about it. And then the rebuild kit didn't come with it either, so I wish I'd have thought about it and I'd done a proper rebuild kit. Probably should have done it now with this, but I'd already stripped it. It is what it is. I'll just show you what I'm doing as I'm going. I've got it all back together, other than that filter. I did try and rig something up so I could show you with the airline that it is actually all working and doing what it's supposed to be doing. That's a bit stiff at the minute, but obviously it's dry. I have put some rubber grease on the O-rings and the seals, and I've also put some copper grease on the screws, and then just at the back of this as well, so it should aid in things, but that is still a bit stiff. But yeah, stiff is good, it means it's going to be sealed. Yeah, it just burst the pipe off. I did try and do it, but I can't turn, hold, press trigger on the airline, and so you'll have to trust me. So yeah, I'm now going to put that in the tank, and then we'll start getting shit back together. No, I'm going to put that thing in first. Put that in first, Daniel. I'll put that, there you go. Now I'm going to put that back in the tank. That's the stopcock back in the tank. Got a new bolt in it, so it's all tightened down. Literally just sort of put a little coat of paint on that, and then just going to wait for that to dry, and then we can get it back in and get everything sort of put back together on the bike. Got the tank back in, we've got the new fuel pump set up. It was a pain in the arse doing this. I've had this out about 3 times now, because there's a pipe under there that I forgot to fucking connect up. These are stupid tanks, so you've got petcock there, but then it has a rubber pipe that runs down, and then a steel bit that comes up through the tank, so then it comes into the filter, and there's a pipe that runs down there into the bottom of the pump. So I'm at the stage where I need to sort that pipe out, and then get that connected up into the tank. Ideally I probably should have replaced this, but you know, he doesn't want that. We're just trying to get this running, so we need to get the battery back in, Then we can plug up the fuel pump, which should be that one, I think. I don't know, there's many plugs. And then, yeah, battery box, battery, plugs, wires. Yeah, we're gonna sort that one. Got a battery box in. That was a fucking ball ache and a half, that was. Absolute fucking wanker of a job. Has a rubber bush at the bottom, plus it just doesn't actually fit in that hole. I've had this out about 3 times. That's the fuel pump wire, runs down here. I'm trying to work out which way it runs down. I have no idea. Sorry about the noise. It's fucking weather today is horrible. So we have another collection of bits. Yeah, these are the bits I took off probably about 3 months ago. You know, I only pulled it in here quite recently, about a month ago. So yeah, now I've got to work out what all of that is. Obviously the plugs. I mean, that's the original reason why I stopped, is because it was so flooded. I tried to burn it out and everything else, but weren't having none of it. So took the plugs out to let it breathe. So yeah, we've got pots of shit that we have to put back together. Got it to this stage, got some fresh fuel in it. What I've done is, well, I mean, I didn't connect this. I actually want to try and get it started, so I've already sort of run some fuel through. You'll see it pumping. Let me see if I can get Michelle. Michelle, use your hand for a sec. You know that. So what I'm doing. So we've got it pumping fuel. Happy days. So we're now gonna connect it all back up and see if we can get it started. Hopefully the carbs won't be fucked and then it will start. But if not, it'll be what it'll be. Alright, I'm sure that's filming. We're going to try and actually start it. See what we can do. Got a bit of ease start. Hopefully you can hear me, but I've got the van running. So I want to give this bike a fighting chance to actually start. I've already been told that they don't mind if it doesn't or does not. You know, like I said, I expect the carbs to be absolutely full up, but it did sound like it was going to fire. So I don't have like a small battery charger for bikes. I don't actually have a battery charger at all. What's that? Hold on. Sorry, farmer just come over and handed me a load of bolts. So yeah, like I was saying, I don't want to be putting a lot of charge into the bike. I don't know it. I don't understand it. So yeah, I'm not going to do it. I know it runs on 12 volts. So what I've done is I've got a Ledger battery there. and then I'm charging the leisure battery off my van, getting that fully charged up, so then I can then jump start the bike at 12 volts. Because obviously the van puts out like 14.5 volts. I don't understand, or I don't know whether it's going to fucking cause it any damage. I have tried to call Ralfy, because he's the only person that I know that does bikes, and I've also tried to call Argo. Neither of them are answering. Obviously busy, or they just don't want to fucking talk to me, but either way it doesn't matter. I need to get this fucking done. So this is the way I'm doing it. I'll let you know how it gets on. I've had the van on the battery for about 10 minutes. We now have a fucking blizzard coming in. May not look it in the fucking screen. I mean, you can see under the bonnet. Temperature's fucking dropped, so I'm literally just gonna fucking chance this, and then we're gonna be done. Like I said, the customer doesn't actually necessarily want it running. He just wants it all put back together. But I want to get it running. You know, just because, you know, I can't leave. Can't let someone go out of the workshop without it running. Fucking hell, it's so cold. Jesus. So yeah, I'm gonna literally quickly swap over. Hold on, I'll show you what I've done. So I've done this. So we've got the leisure battery there, like on charge. So all I've got to do is put that on, drop one, put one on, so we can get on with the bike. So I'll get Michelle to record, and then I'll do this quick, and then yeah, we'll try and get started. It's just a quick one. This is literally how quickly the fucking snow's come down. I just went to charge the battery up. Fucking snow is like fucking intense. We've never had snow like this. I've tried this a couple of times now, and it's not happy. All it's doing is pissing fuel out of the overflows from the top of the carbs. So yeah, these pipes here is just pissing, you can see, look, just pissing fuel out. So it's, the carbs need rebuilding, they're blocked. I would have thought that the fucking, I can't think of the word, the needle valves inside the fucking stopcocks, fucking float chambers. Fucking hell, Daniel. Yeah, that should stop, and in theory that should like pressurize, stop the fuel flowing, but it's not. It's just literally just pumping fuel straight out of the overflows. So the carbs need rebuilding. So I'm literally just putting it all back together now, as requested by the customer, mate, and then yeah, it'll be what it'll be. So there she is, fully completed. Still doesn't run, but it's all put back together. It's in better shape than when I got it. It is what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna give him a shout. Oh, okay. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a shout. See what he wants to do. I could do with it out of the way. He wants to get it as soon as possible. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's the end of the video. So yeah, please check out my friends in the description box below. Please sub to me, please like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, yeah, do all them things, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.